Good morning and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. My guest this morning, let me introduce Comrade, Honorable, combine the two words, Ayodele Adewale, political affairs analyst. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Indeed, it is our pleasure. And Honorable Tunde Braimo is of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Good morning.
Fresh from an electoral victory.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, and yesterday was the birthday of, the leader of APC, Bola, Ahmed, Tinubu. I beg your pardon, today is the birthday. The colloquium happened earlier, and that's the form that this is taking. It usually has a theme. Usually, people from the political spectrum, just about everybody, they go there to this colloquium. Ideas are exchanged. Now, the theme this year, as is well known by now, is work for the people, so the people can work for themselves, Well, I guess you would know better than most people that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has always had this focus in his public utterances, speeches, and that kind of thing of human capital development. Do you think this ties in very well? Let me start with you, Honorable Braimo.
Well, thank you very much. Something critical that you missed out from the theme of this year colloquium was the words next level. The next level, work for the people work for themselves. That means in the build-up to the next level, the much desired, the much advertised next level. Ashwadu said in his speech that it is beyond the rhetorics. It is beyond the catchy advertorial connotations of next level. Next level means a lot of things. Quantum infrastructural leap from where we are that is not acceptable, certainly, to where we are going. Ashwadu is not the type of leader that will deceive himself or deceive others. And that's why he said, what is next level? Let every man live in social tranquility and contentment with his neighbor as well as with himself. That is next level. People must be tranquil, they must be happy, they must be contented, there must be happiness circulating around the populace. And that's what we mean by next level. A lot of people believe that maybe next level is just that catchy phrase that we'll use for us to just win elections. But Ashwadu has declared that the party means more than that, and the party is going to do all it is that is possible to push Nigeria to that more desired next level. So having said that, I'd like to say that we are not just about what we think, about what we feel. It's about what the people want, what the people feel, what actually are the yearnings, the aspirations, the objectives, the desires of the electorate that put us into office. And that's the kind of thing Ashwaju reflected on in his speech yesterday.
Honorable Ayodele, maybe Ashwaju can be viewed in two ways. On the one hand, he's a party man, but on the other hand, he's also a nationalist. So this was a message, what would you think, to party members, party faithful, or to the country at large?
Basically, it was speaking more to the country at large. From the theme of the program, work for the people so that they can work for themselves. It's about leadership and followership.
Which is another theme that's close to his heart.
The leader must show the way, must also show that the way is walkable, and bring the followers along. Work for the people so they can work for themselves. The leader must provide the infrastructure. If the infrastructures are there, then the people can key into it. Look at the SMEs, some of the concepts that were shown yesterday, small businesses and all of that. These small businesses will never grow. For instance, that's why he advised that VAT should not be hiked.
Okay.
If you hike the VAT, you are going to strangle the people that you intend to work for.
Value-added tax, which is at 5% now, and maybe some conversations about it might need to be heightened is very much current affairs. So that's what he was commenting on.
For the economic reality of Nigeria, as it is now, we cannot even tread that path.
Okay, you know what? Let's come back and continue this conversation aspect. Some people talk about mixed reactions to the colloquium, but let's, you know, our reporter naturally would have been there, and we'll take this report and come back to studio.
National Conference Center Abuja stood still as Nigerians from different parts of the country turned up at the 11th Bola Tinubu Colloquium. It is an event that has held annually for the past 11 years to celebrate a man whose contributions to the politics and national development cannot be quantified. Expectedly, issues of national importance are raised by speakers who show a commitment in their presentations to take Nigeria to the next level. The chief host is Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, who takes time to share the vision of the celebrator for Nigeria.
Just picking the best people, no matter where they're from, is a very important part of our story as a country. So every once in a while, I think that history gives us one or two persons who are gifted transformative leaders. And I believe that our country has been gifted by this great transformative leader.
The man on the hour has a word for government on its planned increase in value-added tax.
If we reduce the purchasing power of the people, we can further slow down the economy. Let's widen the tax net. Those who are not paying now, if it is inclusive of Bola Tinubu, let the nets get bigger and we take in more taxes, and that is what we must do in the country.
His close associates commend his leadership style.
What has endeared me to him over this long period of time is his focus, his resilience, his determination to see the lives of people change, and also to deepen the tenets of democracy. Everything that he's done on his political sojourn has always been for the good of the people.
Bola Tinubu is my leader. Not only leader, a great leader. And whose peer headed the merger, which I can remember, that leads to where we are today.
He has that capacity to absorb criticism, to engage in intellectual debate, exhaustive discussion, in order to arrive at a logical conclusion on all issues. What you do is you weigh the cons and the pros. When you put Asiwaju on a scale, the pros, in fact, far outweigh the cons.
Whichever way you slice it, however you look at it, love him or hate him, he plays a very, very major integral part in the development of this country, and he has done so for many years.
His capacity to engage every level, every strata of the society. He has a mind for the mighty, he has a mind for the lowly, he's able to connect with them. That connection is powerful.
The theme of this year's 11th Bola Tinubu Colloquium is Next Level, Work for People. The celebrator, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, is quite impressed with what this administration has done in terms of creation of job, agriculture, and the success of the social investment program. Many who have come to celebrate with him have described him as a dynamic leader, consistent Democrat, and a defender of the oppressed. Maria Olashainde, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, so there you have the package. A bloody good one, even if I say so ourselves. But it does point to the man himself. Just about everybody who works with the man seems to have a story about him, about the way in which he himself or herself has been inspired by his leadership style. And oftentimes you find that a man like this probably draws as many admirers as he draws, again speaking in Yoruba, also admirers, but let's just say critics as well. So there's that, you know, that's life for you. But what do you think when people talk about him warning the government not to increase tax? I thought he himself was explaining there that, look, the thing to do is to widen the net, apparently, if you're not, in short, become a lot more efficient, then there's probably less need to even consider that idea, even if it was being considered, which I understand a minister has already said maybe full understanding hasn't yet dawned on that particular subject matter. Right? Anybody want to take
Well, let me just, just a minute on that. Asiwaju did not want government. Asiwaju advised government. Asiwaju has a role to play, a critical one at that, in the fulfillment of this government, because he played a critical role in the emergence of the government. So it builds on him to always play a guardian role on the government and to disclose to the government the true yearnings, the true feelings, the true aspirations of the people. Having said that, the same man who said, please do not increase the VAT, provide a solution. And that's why when somebody was talking about him the other time, said he will weigh the pros, he will weigh the cons, and he will arrive at a logical conclusion. That is Asiwaju for you. A man that is not lazy. He doesn't take the easy way out. He does not just take any mental sum approach out of any situation. He wants to walk into the system. He wants to analyze, he wants to articulate, he wants to aggregate, he wants to evaluate. And before he now profiles a solution according to the merits or the merits of this issue, dispassionately. Because Asiwaju will engage his lieutenants, even people like us, even people who are far behind us, he will engage you in very robust discourse for hours on ending. He's not the type of leader that will go to bed at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I don't know when Asiwaju sleeps. Most of the time you get to his house at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., he's still with people. Because he devotes all his life totally to public interest. And that's why I said public service is a calling. Asiwaju is called to public service. At times I wonder how he copes. So having said that he is not one that will just say, let's just do it this way. He wants to be sure of what he's doing, and he bows to what he calls superior argument. The fact that they have said today that VAT should not be increased does not mean if people come up with very superior argument to what he has said, Asiwaju is very amenable, so long as you can convince him and convince others. So the truth of the matter is that Asiwaju is a veritable part of this government, very veritable part of this regime. He has a lot of stake in this matter, and people should not be disappointed that, oh, he lured us to this or he lured us to that. Because Asiwaju knows that we still have a future, not just today. And sovereignty belongs to the people, not to us in government.
Okay. When Tunde was speaking about, just theoretically, people shouldn't be disappointed about having lured. Maybe that points, no matter how, perhaps unintentionally and also maybe obliquely, to the fact that, look, there will always be dissent anyhow. In fact, Dele Alake speaking there earlier had said that he will listen to all the pros and listen to all the cons. He then put it on a scale. And, Dele, being a constant witness, says that anybody can see that the pros of whatever the initiative is that might have come from him far outweigh. I'd therefore like to ask you, since you've also worked closely with the party, as Tunde was saying, he engages everybody. Could you talk to your concept of the strategist in Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Let me first say that dissent is part of the objective of the program. A colloquium is meant for people to come discuss, share views, and the superior view carries the day. I'll take you back to 1999 when I engaged Asiwaju with my late secretary, Teslim Oyekomi, and the former chief security officer to Governor Agbeshala was my PRO then. Then we had an issue of students that were expelled from school wrongly by the management because of the fact that their admission came in when they were not supposed to come in, but the management had accepted them. They've done their matriculation and all of that wise. The school also had an issue of infrastructural deficit. So as students, we sat with ASU. Then Professor Abaka Momo, we sat down together, and many of them. Then we came out with a solution. People had already given him a very bad information about the union, about myself, and all of that, not knowing that we had the nexus prior to that time. So we had just left the court from Justice Kekere Ekun was the judge. We secured an interlocutory injunction to stay the student back to school and all of that, and went to his office with over 3,000 students. And we engaged him in a meeting that took us about 7 hours. At the point, he said he was going to pray. It was on a Friday. That I should come and I said, I'm not a Muslim. We went with a compendium of 96 pages. That led to the new development that we're enjoying in LASU today. He took it, listened to us, gave us his own opinion, and we continued. And he saw a lot of truism in what we said. We also showed him how much the school was making, how many toilets we had, and all of these things. He never knew.
All
and
of this was back when he was governor.
When he just came in, then. And he concurred. And he took that paper, dusted it, developed it, and that gave birth to what you are seeing in LASU today. And all of that. So he had a different view, but he allowed us. There was another instance, I went with some UNILAG students in 2000. There were a lot of investors that come. We came in about 2 a.m., and he left all of them, sat with us on the floor at Isaac John. That was his guest house, and he said, "Hey boys, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?" And we started discussing. That discussion took for like 2 hours, and we left there about past 4 in the morning. So he's that kind of person. He's not fixated. He listens. Even if he has an opinion, he will still listen to you. And his opinion is not cast in stone. So if he sees that there's a leeway towards what you're talking about. There was another one, was at Bodilon, when LASU had an issue during Governor Fashola's time, increment in fees. So we were in his place, and the argument came up, and I started, to give a narrative on how we could bring down the fees. Other people were scared. And I said, no. And he said, go and read this book. And when you read the book, come back and tell me your opinion. But I was still acting to the fact that, look, we can bring down the fee from 360 down to 0 or 25. At the end of the day, 25,000 naira was acceptable. So he gives room for all manner of people to have discussion with him. And that's the essence of that colloquium. So the fact that he has a view that VAT should not be increased, and I think that's the best way to go. Expand the dragnet of taxation, and we get more money.
Let me just add to that. You see, we owe our growth and development not to those who say yes, but to those who dare to differ when they have a good reason so to do. You see, we cannot just, we need to provoke or troubleshoot ideas at times. We have to kind of probe into thoughts. How do you feel? Let's this thing be thrown into public discourse. Let's talk about it. I think that's the kind of thing. It's agenda setting. It's part of leadership. What Ashwaju has done.
Okay, so in a way, this maybe sort of points to, shall we say, the strategy of the man's ideas, because I wanted you to, talk about Ashwaju, the strategies. But there's no doubt still more, because maybe sometimes being a politician also is a matter of being a strategist as well.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
because I was then going to ask that, look, it's all about, I think the man giving his life, as it were, to the I spoke earlier about once he had, decided on that path of politics, myself, maybe many other people would have been looking for what is the theme, and that whole matter about human, capital development. It's such a wide, overarching umbrella, and it keys into even what the theme of the colloquium was, work for people so that they can work for themselves. Because we are arguably in a very bad state right now in terms of employment, unemployment, the development of human capital. This feeds into education, all levels of education. Speak to the man, because there are different aspects of the man. How about the humanitarian? Do you have anything about the humanitarian Bola Tinubu?
Well, let me just say that Ashwaju is humanity personified. It's a gift, an uncommon gift to humanity. Not because I'm trying to pre-sing him or to sound sycophantic. I've yet to see such a compassionate leader. He governs with vision, with mission, and with a deep sense of passion. He is involved, is concerned, he empathizes. It's not about sympathy, it's about empathy. Maybe his own evolution too taught him what Ashwaju is aware, he's conscious, he knows how the shoe pinches the people. He's not an aloof leader. He's not a leader that is high up there, that is not in the arena. Like I just said, he sat on the floor with them at Bodilon. You see, at John rather. You see, Ashwaju is one of us. basically, with what God has given to him, with his height in life, with all his attainments, Asiwaju is a down-to-heart personality. He's involved. He knows what happens on the street.
You're like saying he never lost the common touch.
He never did. And once there's that disconnect, and that's the problem with our leadership. For example, some time ago, when Obasanjo was president, he would fly from the airport to Ota. So I wouldn't have known that that road was damaged beyond repair. So when he left, he started vilifying Jonathan for not fixing his road. Because he himself as president was not aware, because he was on the air most of the time when he should be on the road. Asiwaju is not a leader like that. Asiwaju,
we were talking about Asiwaju's birthday here. No, we're talking about Asiwaju's birthday here. You politicians managed to take it somewhere else.
No, not about that.
It's okay.
I mean, you
could have talked about Tinubu without bringing Obasanjo into it.
No, just an example.
In a negative comparison.
Just an example of how gifted we are to have a personality of Asiwaju to lead us. You see, because the man is with us. He's one of us. He's part of us, and he's never disconnected from us. And that's why I want to say that Asiwaju is a aspiration, is a combination of virtues. Not that he doesn't have his own faults. Everybody, has one or two other. But the thing is that Asiwaju, like somebody has said, when you weigh the pros and cons, is good areas far outweighs and obviates any perceived or conceived bad area.
Let's take Dare in Ikeja. Good morning, Dare.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. That lovely man you're discussing is one of those leaders that we don't, very important about him. At the end of the day, you start making a comment. I think that will make He has a thinking brain that carries people along. When you see him, I know you have enemies, just like Bolsonaro had at his own time, because it's always with people. Go and look at the history. Many people that always stand by people.
Hello, Dare. I think that line was a bit problematic. So sorry about that, Dare. You know how it is. It happens sometimes. Maybe see if you could get in again, please, and we'd be happy to take your call. But human capital development. I keep on going back to the base rock, and that is being, so many different, it's being exemplified in so many different ways. But one particular way, and perhaps you gentlemen are not actually absent to that whole matter. Vice President Oshibajo, mentioned the matter. So many people that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has brought up. He spoke about choosing, sterling people, excellent people. That was when the Vice President was talking about him. There's that whole point. Perhaps both of you agree that the guy has a knack for picking winners. You might not always understand when he comes up with a particular horse, so to speak, but after a while, everybody seems to agree with him. And where the point has been made that only God is perfect, where once in a while it doesn't quite work that way, then the man will do a turnaround and be equally as strong on his turnaround and explain it and take it out of there.
Well, I would not totally look at it from that
Before you launch, please, I want to give you time. I don't want to interrupt you. Let me bring in Mr. George. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much for calling in, sir.
And good morning to the guest there.
Sure.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, I'm one person that has a lot of admiration for Asiwaju Tinubu. He's one person, even though his adversaries that we always take pleasure to criticize him, they do not do the things he does. When they are doing this, it is food and drink we see on table. But look at what this gentleman does. He uses the opportunity to sensitize people's ideas on how to improve governance in the country. If you ask Tinubu to bring 100 bachelors or 100 ambassadors within 24 hours, he has them to give you. The people who criticize his adversary, they can't do all that. Instead of them to try to be like him, they want to run it down. But I'm happy the way he's going. I support the idea of not increasing taxation because his argument is very strong. If I had my way to the president, I would have told him the same thing. If you want to increase salary because of the minimum wage that has been increased to 30,000, it must be ripped off from the people in order to pay the workers again. Because that's what I think they were trying to do. If you cut, running costs, you can get the money to pay. I see Tinubu as our next president. He has the potential, and I pray he does, provided the president will give him the necessary support. I wish him well. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much for calling in. That was an interesting ball that George threw in at the end of it all. Any comments on that before you move back to where you were commenting on before?
Well, it's a time that has come. I don't see any force, particularly anti-people forces, that can stop him from becoming the next president of Nigeria. I don't see it. He's well positioned, and the people want him, and he has all the capacity to deliver.
Okay, so the question is going to be whether or not he himself is interested in the idea. Right, Tunde?
Yes, of course. As well as was declared. But we urge him by this opportunity that we have. And because it's in the public domain that people are expecting a lot. The president himself prayed for him. And the prayer is full of innuendos. The president said, in conclusion, that he admired his style, his populist policies, his style of leadership, and that he prays that he is re-energized, is invigorated to do more for his fatherland that he loves so much. What does that mean? What can Ashwaju do? He has been governor, he has been national leader. Like I just said, Ashwaju is set to go by the grace of God. And it's going to be good for. It's not about our wishful thinking. It's about somebody who can make that difference.
But Ashwaju has to be interested first.
Even if.
And so far, he's been silent on the matter, right?
Even if he's not interested, remember that it has been often said that he bows to superior opinion, and the superior opinion will be that he contests for president.
All right, okay.
Now, taking it back to where we were, you see, if we say...
sorry, you mean you're going back to the...
To the discourse before we went to this one, then I'll continue from there. Now, if we say...
Because I'm going to interrupt you again.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, because Tolu is in Ibadan and insists on contributing. Good morning, Tolu.
Hello.
Good morning, Tolu. Please go ahead.
Actually, I want...
We can hear you, Tolu. Please go ahead.
All right. Good morning. I want to actually... Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I actually want to celebrate Baba Tinubu. I actually want to join to celebrate Baba Tinubu.
Hello, Tolu. You know what you could do for us? You could turn down the volume of your TV set. That would be greatly helpful. In fact, we've lost you because you tried to listen to yourself on your television as you were speaking. It doesn't usually work that way. So please, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know it already. If you've just joined us, when you do get in, kindly turn down the volume. Let it go all the way down. Yes, please.
Now, with the positioning of Ashwaju now, I hardly see any politician that can defeat him in terms of ideas, in terms of having the knack to look for very quality people that can walk the talk, in terms of ruggedity, in terms of reaching to the grassroots, and of course to the people at the echelon, top echelon, the business class. Ashwaju is versatile. And when that time comes, you will see everybody just handsing up and supporting him, like they did for Chief MK Abiola and all of that. So it will be a reinvention of the June 12 spirit that will just see him to office.
Okay. Now that we're talking about this, it's not as if his party, his very own party, APC, and all its members, it's not as if they don't have issues.
Of course.
It's not as if they...
normal
It's normal. Yeah. So really, this is my presage to asking you to comment on Ashwaju, the Democrat, within the party. One has heard, I beg your pardon, one has heard that, and it's good that both you gentlemen are here, that it can be a one-man machine sometimes.
No, it's not
I think the misconception about that is that when you owe strongly to an opinion and you try to sell your point, people at times mischievously regard you. Asiwaju, obviously and definitely, is not a fixated or opinionated person. We have all agreed on his submission to superior arguments, that is the way we call it. So the truth of the matter is that 1,000 kilometers.
So when people talk about internal democracy, when APC members talk about the need, as they see it, to improve internal democracy, that is APC members, not opposition now.
Those people that talk about that, unfortunately, are the same beneficiary of sometimes when selections were made in the party rather than elections. It's not, the constitution of the party allows for consensus candidates at times. It's unfortunate that those people who have benefited largely and immensely from the consensus arrangement that were made one time or the other are the same people whom, when other people were now agreed to be chosen, will now say, okay, let's go for election. And they want to change the goalposts in the middle of the game. That's not really important thing now here.
So you're saying that you don't put much stock on APC members that charge the party for undemocratic tendencies.
Asiwaju is an avowed Democrat, and everybody knows that. His democratic credentials are unassailable.
I've kept Yakub waiting long enough. Good morning, Yakub, and thank you for holding on.
Yeah, good morning, Chief.
Thank you for calling in.
And good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Chief, what I can tell you this morning is that Asiwaju is an exceptional leader. As Mr. Yodele said earlier in the studio, I can tell you if you met Asiwaju one-on-one, you have a story to tell about him. Positive one. Chief, I can tell you.
Wait a minute, Yakub.
Yeah.
Do you have one of such lovely stories?
That's what I'm about to tell you, Chief.
Okay.
I'm a former drummer boy, local drummer boy.
Okay.
In 2001, we always go to Marina during the festivals, especially Ileya period time. There was a favorable day we are at the gate, beating our drum, Chiviori, making noise at the gate. Before we know, one of the police at the gate fear one of the drummer, and then we keep silent. Do you know, before almost 10 minutes to that time, we saw Asiwaju personally come out of the State House, meet us at the gate. He has us, the name of our leader of the team is Babaluku. He said, Babaluku, what happened? The man said that this man have already tied our drum. He said, eh? He tired? I said, yes. He looked at the policeman, Chief Asiwaju said, you are just here for meantime. Those are the people with me before I become governor. They campaign, they follow me everywhere. And then you tear their drum. I don't want to say much. It makes us happy that very particular day.
I understand. As a Nigerian, I understand that last sentence.
Look at what First President said yesterday.
Yes.
Asiwaju moved from one state to another state. Look at what First President said yesterday. He called Vice President that what we need to do to take this state. If you need you to go outside this country to make sure you hire some people that is perfect for being test all these ballot paper in order for us to gain Edo State, Osun State, another state, as case may be, who is that leader in this country today? To spend his own personal money for make sure that the party, the political party that he has headed, pray to the other state, give it to him. I only pray that God Almighty Allah give him more health and then long life. Thank you and God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Yakub, and also for that marvelous story. Especially because if you're going to ask me to now put a caption on this story, I would just say, Momo Erini. Momo Erini.
Let me give you two.
Look, did we know each other before now? Is Momo Erini?
Exactly.
Did we know each other before now?
So
these are guys that have been following me. Now you go and tear the drum.
Exactly. Let me quickly give you two instances. It is often said that when politicians get into office, they jettison those who have been following them before and try to look for, quote and unquote, the very best in the society. There's a photographer called Okon. Okon have been following Asiwaju for a very long time. So one would have thought that as governor, he would jettison Okon and go and seek for the T.Y. Bello standard of this world. Rather, no. So we speak, Okon is still with him.
There you go.
He gave Okon the opportunity to move, to train higher and move up.
To develop within
he didn't
his proximity.
cast Okon away. The second is his late driver. When he was appointed as governor, of course, they gave him the ministry driver, and he looked at him. According to what I heard, who are you? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, his driver was outside, waited. I said, boss, look at my law. You understand?
Yeah.
So he does not forget those who he has met in his humble beginning.
There you go. So when someone who is here now, only in the past metaphoric 5 minutes, begins to carry on, what? Momo Erini. Good morning, Ola, in Agbara.
Good morning.
Thank you for calling in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please, I just want to make a short contribution to the issue of God. Firstly, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. I just want to make a short contribution with regards to the personality we are discussing today. Since I know aware about the name of Bola Tinubu since 1999, became a governor of Lagos State. For looking at his activities, one will see that is a person that has a progressive mind. And he has demonstrated that in all areas that we have seen, especially in the Southwest. We have never had a governor in Lagos State that at the end of his tenure, we say this is just a thief or this is someone that it doesn't make a progress to the development of Lagos State. And that is why Lagos State is where it is today. So, although there are some side talks here and there about how he mortgaged Lagos State to himself, but we are still waiting for anyone to come out with those facts so that we know where to take from there. However, for you to be a progressive and lead people, especially in a country like Nigeria, you have to have that money. Because our people, all they listen to is money.
All right. Well, thank you very much for calling in. Really appreciate your call, Ola. Talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State. Asiwaju is one chieftaincy title. Jagaban Bogu is yet another, equally as...
And there's so many others.
Equally as popular,
yes,
you know.
So many titles,
but these particular, there must have been hundreds. When people get to be like him, the man can probably count hundreds of titles. Yes. But those two sort of jump out. Asiwaju and Jagaban. Jagaban Bogu. Bogu is of the Bogu Kingdom.
In Niger State.
In Niger State. Yeah. So that again speaks to the man himself. Right?
And talking about the man, if you are to talk about Bogu, the late Ahmed Bogu was his colleague in the Senate. And that was why Asiwaju is a destabilized Nigerian, completely destabilized. A Nigerian that appeals to all class, to all creed, to all race, to all religion. And that's why I agree with Ayo when he said the June 12 phenomenon is likely to be reinvented when Asiwaju eventually agrees to come out for presidency.
Okay.
We are going to have people repaying back in his own coin. Asiwaju has really helped people. He has really encouraged people. He has been motivational in so many ways.
Okay. Let's cross over to Dubai now. Good morning. Seriki in Dubai.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Uncle Yori, rather.
Well, it's Yori, actually, but good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Carry on, please.
How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you.
Yes, first and foremost, I would like to congratulate our leader, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And I just want to add to what Honorable Tunde Braimo said. He said Asiwaju he has never disconnected from anybody. For sure, I can tell you, and I know of one person Asiwaju has never disconnected from day one to now. I'm talking of the likes of Ashemba. Asiwaju saw Ashemba's energy during the campaign. And at that moment, he wanted to give Ashemba money. But Ashemba said, no, just allow me to see you when you are in the office. Until tomorrow, Ashemba will always go to Tinubu just like his friend. And from then, any other leaders, like Honorable Ibrahim, he was the chairman of Koshobel local government. And we know him, we love him, he did a wonderful job. And like what he said, once a caller said something that Asiwaju has got has got hundreds of ambodies. Honorable Brimo is one of them. Okay. But the question is, why is Ashwaju not using civil servants? He prefers to use civil servants as governors and not politicians. I think he has his opinion for that, and he's in. So just to add up to what we are saying, we congratulate him and we love him and we wish him the best, and we pray to Almighty Allah to continue to lead him to the right path.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Okuyori.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in as well. It looks like if we're on this trajectory, I mean, we won't go today, because everybody, this is the nature of great men like that, everybody has a way in which his life has been impacted. By the way, we're getting signals that Governor-elect Sanwo-Olu will be getting his INEC certificate this morning. In fact, it might be a matter of minutes from now. If that happens, we'll cut over to the place so Lagos that voted him in can witness him picking up his certificate of return. So, but okay, it's been ages ago now since you were going to go back to my substantive question. I can't even remember what it was, and then calls kept coming in. Go ahead, please.
Well, you talked about Ashwaju getting the best brains in the society.
Okay, he has this knack.
A plus,
yeah.
The A plus, the A's, and
yeah,
the B's.
Yeah.
I would say
and
that
you might not understand at the time.
I would say that.
And where a mistake happens, the man will reverse himself.
I would say that if we hinge on that, then what happened to the C, the D, the E, and the rest? What he does really is give people opportunity.
Okay.
Opportunities that even you yourself don't know that you have such ability to succeed. So it is left for you, when such opportunity is provided, for you to develop. And when you develop yourself, he also often says, develop others. It's train the trainer. That is his concept. And at the end of the day, people now say that, oh, he has gotten one egghead from somewhere. Oftentimes, he just looks at them, depending on how you position yourself and your ability to wanting to do things rightly. Then those opportunities are also provided. Not that you sit down somewhere and he just drags you and all of that.
Well, you know, you guys are putting so much substance, and this is probably not unknown to the Ashwaju circle, if there's what one can refer to. You guys are putting so much substance to the man. It's almost like a leader, his philosophy, his thinkings. You seem to identify with these. You seem to think you will develop by also espousing these once you yourselves have been convinced, which is totally different from just being a politician and hanging on because thereby you will be assured of, succor.
No.
That seems to be what you're saying, that, look, it's like the teachings, even though I don't think he set himself up as a teacher, but the very ideas, the very, how does one put it now? The very ideas, they carry you, they get you guys to sort of attach to them, believe in them, and then work for those ideas, right?
No.
Oh, you don't work for his political ideas?
A typical Ashwaju is a good listener. He listens. Once you are there, he listens to all of you, and he grabs from everywhere and puts his own forward.
Okay.
And allows you to also continue to go. But there's a philosophy that he believes in, and of course, if you hint to his philosophy like we have inched to it, definitely we have common thinking and common ways of doing things.
Well, that was what you were saying no to in the beginning, but by the time you explained it, I said, okay, it's not, maybe I misunderstand you.
You see, the whole thing comes out.
The whole, because he must have a philosophy.
Definitely.
Beyond,
his philosophy is
I'm okay for being around you. There must be a philosophy.
You see, these things come out from the style of leadership, the efficacy of leadership. When a leader is a dictator and people around him, all what they can do is just to say yes to him. He cannot move himself forward, and he cannot move his society forward. But when he allows for nuances of opinion, when he allows for divergence of views, when he allows for people to ventilate and articulate their positions, then such a leader is bound to be great. Ashwaju defines your character. When people say he has a knack for picking people, it's not as if he does it empirically or scientifically. He does it with the aid of science and all the technology that can be used in designing and deciphering human behavior. It allows you to ventilate your opinion. In a circle like this, it allows you to talk.
Okay, maybe when we come back, because I've got to take a call now. Maybe when I come back from it, it seems also that you probably don't agree with something that you hear quite often, that in Nigeria there is no difference between the parties, whether it is APC, whether it is PDP, whether it is any other GMPP, whatever. There is no difference within Nigerian parties. Think of the answers. I'm going to come back, but yeah, good morning, sir. Jide.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Jide,
good morning,
good morning,
yeah,
sir.
Good morning. Yeah. I'm happy to contribute to this, to your discussion now.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm happy with Asiwaju, and I hope Nigeria could produce leaders like him in the future. The man is a grassroots person. They're saying that the proof of wisdom is the ability to listen, even to a kid. He will listen to you at all times. He knows what the people want, and he's a man of wisdom with a very good common sense. Remember, to carry people along, you need to appeal to common sense, at least that common sense. So uniting the Southwest politically is not an even easy task, not to talk of across the nation. So I wish I could meet him one day. Actually, I've met him in my dreams, but seriously.
Okay, he might be listening to you, and he will hear how you guys met in your dreams. Thank you very much for calling in.
Yeah.
Appreciate your call. So that whole idea about the commentators who say that in Nigeria, the difference between the political parties is the difference between 6 and half a dozen. You guys probably disagree.
You know, we have two concepts of ideology. You have the right wing, you have the far right wing, the extremist right wing, and you have the left, the far left, and the extreme. Asiwaju is more of a liberal left, very liberal. But again, when we all agree, after all discussion and all of that, and we come to an agreement, and it is firmed up, then it becomes caste. And there's no point of going back. Then we go out to achieve the purpose. And that is the bane of his development and achievement. It's a collective of agreement.
Of course, with periodic reviews as necessary, I have heard him say. Because I remember that when he was commenting on the party regulations regarding the whole Lagos State affair, he said, look, the whole thing, there is a blueprint. But as we go along, evolution, there might be a need to shift, to evolve.
That's the liberal nature of
society is dynamic. Yeah, dynamism must have its place, course. But the truth is that there is a vast world of difference within the political parties in Nigeria, especially the major political parties.
Okay, let me come back to that because Shuaibu in Abuja. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, I called to appreciate what you guys are doing. And I also want to congratulate our great leader, Bola Ahmed Asiwaju. May Almighty Allah continue to bless him more.
Amen.
You see, when our leader, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, came to Kogi State, because me talking to you, I'm an indigent of Kogi State, he intervened on the issue on ground that we should bring in Faleke. People start complaining. No. It's Yaya, people have never been governor. That we don't look at things that way. You see now, compare Yaya to the other people Bola Ahmed Tinubu has brought to government.
Yeah.
Look at the way they behave.
Okay.
So I'm very sorry to say, but I'm very sorry. Please, I'm coming. Let me just land. Please, let me land. What I'm trying to say here is a great leader that whoever he supports doesn't misuse the offices. Understand?
Okay.
The governors in Kogi, Fashola, the Ambode, and the guy coming in presently and see other people and see. It's only that we don't just want to listen to him. If the APC leaders, other leaders wanted to listen to him, this APC government would have been better than this. I told the president himself, the Buhari himself, you listen to him.
All right.
He's a man that has everything he said. Allah has blessed him. Let's listen to him and work with him.
Thank you very much. I'm sure there's a healthy mutual respect going on between, those gentlemen that you spoke about. Thank you very much. Talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Jagaban Bogu, on his 67th birthday today. We wish him a happy birthday, of course. But the colloquium that usually precedes these events has happened yesterday. And in keeping with, you know, the serious aspect of the man, it's all about human capital development. Work for people so that the people themselves can work for. So he's speaking to so many, just in that all, you know, encompassing headline, he's speaking to so many aspects of our lives, you know, be it the economy, be it, in fact, I just so much like that human capital development. But yes, I think you were going to try and say, you're going to...
Talk about the difference between the...
Yes.
difference between the political parties.
You don't subscribe to the idea?
I don't subscribe to the idea. Look, even the last caller now...
That you would fit in just as well if you were to move into the PDP or if you were to move into the APR and vice versa.
You cannot fit in anywhere, anyhow. Because I am a practical and pragmatic politician. I did not read political science. But in my own assessment of a political party, my own definition of a political party is an association of people or amalgamation of interest with quest to acquire power and affect society one way or the other. That is my own idea of a political party. So, but when you want to acquire power, when you come together, how do you go about it? For example, in Lagos State, could the PDP in all good conscience have expected to win that election in Lagos State? Okay. The answer is no. Okay. A party that is factionalized into so many fragmentations.
Me, I'm even leaving politics out of it today. I'm leaving politics out of it today. There's Akin in the UK. Good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Top of the day to you. And a fabulous morning to the guest at the studio.
Okay.
My contribution will just be little. I just want to chip in one or two things. For me, I think, relatively, I think Asiwaju is a leader in his right, in context. Let me put it in that context. In his right, he's a leader. But I think that also we can do better than what we have on ground right now. For me, I do not see the reason why it has to be Tinubu to tell the government that to add VAT to add more VAT would bring about a reduced purchasing power. Obviously, it shows that the government is not thinking, and basically this is a recipe for also.
But you recall that government has spoken on the matter and said that the idea is misunderstood.
There should be no prompting of anything without thorough thinking. That's my own. My own submission.
Okay.
But to be fair to Asiwaju Tinubu, I think he has done extremely well, and he has given his beat to the Nigerian people and especially to the people of Lagos. But also, I think that our politics still needs a little bit of ginger. We are still asleep politically in this part of the world, and I think that we could do more. There's nothing invigorating about our political landscape, and I can tell you that.
All right, then. Well, I think thank you very much for calling in from the UK, and that's where we're going to have to leave it today. Apart from thanking profusely our gentlemen in the studio today, Ayodele Adewale and Tunde Braimo. And also, thank you very much, gentlemen, for sharing your perspectives and some intimate stories, some interesting stories about Tinubu. And also, you know, thanking Yakub about the Momoeri kind of story. Join us on Monday, actually, for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.